suggested to speak about monetization, but monetization is only one part of mobile game industry. As CEO of mobile publisher company, I'd like to say that monetization is just one component of just fuel for success. For if you want to build successful app or game, you need combination of monetization, user acquisition, and product. And let's speak about all of them. Uh, if you are speaking about this combination, this brings that you need some kind of doing everything. If you are doing everything, this means you are self-publisher. Self-publisher means that you are responsible for product, for monetization, and for user acquisition as well. Here we can see that in 2024, and I afraid that in 2025, only one app from 100 released in Google Play gained some statistically significant success. When I speak about statistically significant, I mean that this game or app bring you something more than $10,000 per quarter. Here is written per month, but actually this number mean per quarter. So if you want to build something successful, if you want to build it alone, your chance is less than 1%. If you want to build something which can you bring some which will bring you upper than middle salary, your chance is even worse. If you're speaking about building something really successful, the chances are miserable. Why? Because if you publish your game, you need to compete with big players, with publishers. In 2013, you can publish any bullshit and it will be successful. Why? Because the market was rare. Now the market is growing and lots of big players join. So, for example, if publisher publish one game, this means that it definitely not 100%, but it is significantly statistic more. As I'm publisher, I don't speak about dream games and something another. I speak about mathematics, and we see that chance if your game is published by publisher is much more. You have much more chances. It's something like lottery. You can play in one lottery and got one chance from million, and from another you got one chance from 100. Of course, this is not in vacuum. This is because publisher have some advantage. Let's look at this advantage. The first one advantage, it is the budget. You definitely understand that any publisher can spend 1,000 just for any test. If we see that the game is at least has a chance to be successful, then we spend 10,000 or 20,000 or 30,000. That's normal because it is mathematics. I can spend as many money as I can just because I understand win rates. If you are indie developer, you have only one product and you need to invest your own money. I invest my own money as well, but I have successful backstage and I can invest this money. That's the difference. If you are indie developer, you just have to hope at organic traffic. Now, Apple App Store, and Google Play provide you some organic traffic, but the numbers are not statistically significant. I very often say in this word because now I don't speak about game development and something another. Any success is the product of numbers. And if you want to obtain success, your numbers should be statistically significant. That's why if you get 100 downloads per day, you can reach nothing. Let's continue. The second option is that you're flying blind. You can, of course, you will use Google Analytics or some other free options for your game or app. It doesn't matter, but the tools are actually really not okay for me. 2 or 3 years ago, I don't understand why I should hire analytics, because analytics, these men are telling some things, and I don't believe in them. When I hired first 2 or 3 analytics, I don't feel, I haven't feel some improvement. But when we build prediction models and lots of other things, then I feel the difference. Our profit grows from $500 per month to 1 million and grow even more just because we are using analytics. So working without analytics, it's being blind in normal world. Your competitors which work with publishers, they definitely need to use analytics, and they using analytics. They understand their weak points of their games. They see where users churn. I don't know. It depends from pronunciation, but you understand what I'm talking about. You see your retention, you see your weak points. Any your weak point, it's your point of growth. And analytics is showing your weak points, and you understand where you can grow. And the third reason is, of course, mathematics. Small gaps that kills. If you're working alone, you can build your mediation setup. I go one step back, and I saying that if we are speaking about mobile monetization, you have 2 options. Yes, you have in-app purchases and subscriptions, and you have ads monetization. Regarding in-app subscription, you need analytics to understand how much user will continue their subscription after the first attempt. Regarding ad monetization, it's much more complicated. You think it is easier, you need to show an ad and obtain money. But it is very tricky. It's really tricky, because setting up monetization now, ad monetization can uplift your revenue up to 20, 25, 30, 35%. If you are okay with this, you as an indie developer can set up good mediation setup and obtain good results. But in any case, publisher will have 10% advantage just of big numbers. Big numbers make difference. For example, one app from Turkey with 10,000 of installs can bring me 2 cents from user. The almost same app with 10 million installs per month with the same gameplay, same user flow will bring me 3 cents per user, and this 1 cent make an advantage. I will continue and explain why a bit later. The second reason is CPI. Do you know what is CPI? Anybody knows what is CPI? Cost per install. So mobile business is not rocket science. Your cost per install should be less than LTV. Do you know what is LTV? Lifetime value. Great. So, for example, your lifetime value of your user is $1. Cost per install for this user is 90 cents. You are in profit. It's great. It's scalable. But what's happened next? You know that if you build your game in mobile world in 2 weeks, big publisher will clone it with absolutely same user flow, with absolutely same gameplay, but it will be absolutely the same. And then you are coming to the numbers. Publisher has 10% advantage in LTV and 10% advantage in CPI. So the publisher advantage is 20%. Game building or app building mathematics is very easy. Your LTV is your RDAO. Anybody know what is RDAO? No? Average revenue per daily active user multiplying by number of days which active user is playing. So to compete with the publisher, you need to have 20% advantage in your user flow, in your engagement. If you build something incredible, if you are building some new, it is chance. But if you build a game with zombies, the clone of the games with space invaders, it will not help you. Maybe you will have 3-4% advantage, and then you will need to work with it. How you need to work? You need to increase your engagement, make this game more interesting. As I said, yes, LTV is RDAO per play. If you work with the publisher will provide you analytics. Analytics will help you, as I said, find the weak points, find your points of growth, and your RDAO will be higher. So you see, in real world, you see that publisher has higher ECPM and lower ECPM and higher LTV. As I said, product quality is the only one reason to, no, only one way to grow. And now we are going to the growing of your product. You are building your product. You have one idea. You make this idea in your release. So you're thinking, okay, maybe I will give this user shotgun instead of Tommy gun, and it will increase user interest. Okay, it is normal theory, and we can proceed with it. We making a new build. We are given in level 3 shotgun instead of rifle gun. It doesn't matter, yes? And now we need to understand the difference. Regarding understanding the difference, it is another tricky question, but maybe you're right, and you got 3 or 4% of uplift of your of interest to the game and of your engagement. Our statistics said that you have 7 average releases per one successful. So you try 7 hypotheses just to uplift your engagement to 5%. This means to reach 20% of gap, you need 4 successful hypotheses, and this means 25, 30 hypotheses tested. And this comes to our numbers: 24, 40 attempts, 11, 18 months of development. So to build successful game which can be compatible with another games, you need to build it for 1.5 years from the initial release. This, unfortunately, this is very miserable numbers, frustrated numbers. But I don't say that. I don't telling you don't create the games. I telling you about your shoots in your leg or foot when you are building this. Another problem is A/B testing barrier. Okay, you make this hypothesis, and you need to understand what's happening. To understand what's happening, you need statistically significant numbers. So you need to bring 3,000 players for which play with rifle gun, and 3,000 players which play with shotgun, and understand which players perform best. You definitely, most of all, know what is this statistic and what's statistically significant. You need p-value much less than 5%, just to understand that your hypothesis is right. Otherwise, it turns to bullshit. So you need to bring 6,000 users. As I said, Google Play and App Store will give you 100 users per day maximum. So you need some kind of user acquisition. You need to study user acquisition and then bring these 6,000 users. Lots of indie developers, they keen on US because US is definitely the brightest market. But the CPI in United States is about for any game is more than $1. So to bring you 6,000 users, it is really expensive. I will tell you, any publisher knows that you don't need to test your hypothesis in United States. The same user flow, there are lots of countries which provide you the same user flow. For example, Philippines. Now the user flow of Philippines much more equivalent to United States than even in Europe. But cost per install in Philippines is 2 cents instead of $1 in US. So you need to spend $100 for testing instead of 6,000. That's statistically significant difference. But to make this test, you need to make translation in Filipinian and do some other stuff you need to translate. But in any case, it's much more efficient to test your hypothesis in Philippines, Indonesia, no, not in US. If you are testing in-app purchases, it is different thing. You can test them in New Zealand and Australia, which are twice as cheaper in US, but twice is okay too. Okay. The next issue which you have when you are developing game by or app by yourself, you don't have fresh eye. You see something onboarding issue. It is which is issue for new user. It is not issue for you because you create this user interface. You imagine this user experience and see that this user experience is perfect, but it is bullshit. You will see that 30 or 40% of the users just leaves your app when they will onboarding on your third app page, just because they don't understand what are you meaning. That's why even if you don't have publisher, you need to bring your app to some independent product just to get the review and understand your point of growth or weak points. In any case, publishers provide you this review just because so now I still don't insist to work with me. I just speaking about the barriers for indie developers. Publisher creates creatives. You understand what I mean? When I speaking about creatives, I speaking about the video which will be available in different apps which are on Google Play or App Store, or when you are sliding your TikTok or Facebook or even Tinder, because no, not Tinder. If I remember, Tinder doesn't provide ads, but doesn't matter. When you using your phone, you definitely are watching ads, and the quality of ads matters. When you create good ads, it can raise your CPI or CTR, sorry, click per impression very much. If you have two creatives, one has CTR 7%, this means that 7 user clicks on your ads and another has 3%, you will got this X2 or even more difference in cost per install. And this in one turn will bring you to your testing hypothesis and understanding what's happened. If you're working with real user acquisition, you're working with the volumes. You're working with the understandable audience, which brings you lots of insight. And analytics will help you with this insight how to grow your product. But lots of indie developers doesn't want to work with the publisher. It is absolutely normal. Let's look at the reason. At first, as a publisher, we lots of publishers want to grow the unicorns. Why? Because unicorns bring billions of money. But the game which bring you $3,000 per month or $10,000 per month will not cover publisher costs. That's why they are telling, okay, guys, bring us games, but your R1 should be more than 50%. Do you know what is R1 and R7 metrics? No. R1 is retention on day one. So if you run up today, 50% of your user should return tomorrow. If less than 20% user return to the game tomorrow, this game is ridiculous and we cannot make user acquisition on it. Big publishers saying that R1 need to be up to 50% from one side. R7, it is normal, should be 3 times lower than R1. I strictly recommend to write down these numbers. If you sometimes want to build some successful project on mobile, R7 should be not more than 3 times lower than R1. This means that if your retention of day one is 30%, your retention on day 7 should be 10%. If you got 60%, you need to obtain 20% on day 7. So if you bring 1,000 users to your game, if your game will be considered as a successful game for a big publisher if 51% of users will return on the next day. Another problem, we have the money, we are on top of the market. So most of publishers speak about revenue share 70 for 30, 80 for 20, in best case 60 40 or even 50 50. As for me, 50 50 is absolutely fair share, but let's continue. Every big publisher doesn't, no big publisher doesn't agree share 1/2 of your profit from your game to you, just because 100 games comes to us every month and we can choose. This is not fair, but this is market. Now the market is on publisher side, just because Google doesn't allow you to obtain lots of organic downloads. The third reason is that big publisher and we, of course, we have our own vision of product. It definitely doesn't match with your vision. Just because you are creating your dream game and we are looking for the tool which we bring $100 today and bring $150 in 3 days. So for us, game is a tool of obtaining revenue, obtaining profit. But for lots of indie developers, it's a product of their dream. And that's a big issue. And going next, IP risks. So you create games, publisher even can some kind find you, but in this case, publisher will transfer IP rights to their name. It's normal just because publisher gives you money, and publisher want to minimize its risk. Uh, it is not fair. It is definitely not fair, but we doesn't live in socialic reality. Socialic reality will bring lots of other bullshit, but we are not speaking about uh, this. In any case, grow if you want to build a successful product, your chance to work with a to build this product with a publisher is, I will say, 10 or 15 times more. So now you have 1% against 15% of successful. Actually, no, I'm not right. If I say that indie developer has chance 1 to 300, and with publisher you have 5% chance to got successful game. As for us, now it's advertising time. Yes, I'm CEO and one of the founders of CAS.ai, and I just want you to explain what we did. We don't hunting for the unicorn. We just want to find the games which bring us 10 or 20 or $30,000. As we live in Cyprus, not US, our costs are much lower. As we have our team in Ukraine and Romania and Poland, our UR costs are for team are much lower as well. That's why we provide the same service as a big publisher, but we're looking for much lower KPIs. We access, we provide revenue share not from entire game, but from uplift. So if you have some product which brings you $3,000 or $4,000 per month, we don't want to share this profit. We can scale it to 10,000 and share the uplift. It is much more fair, in my humble opinion. And we, of course, in this case, we keen on marketing, we keen on app store optimization, we keen on monetization. Your side is to creating a good product. Sorry. One of our clients, Multicraft, this Estonian guy, he built a Minecraft clone. Do you know what is Minecraft? Yes. This guy built Minecraft clone in 2014. It was one of the first Minecraft clone, but it was free. It has monetization. And when he came to us in 2023, he got about 40,000 K per month. It is really not indie, it is small studio. He has 3 or 4 developers and 3D artists, but they are indies, they haven't used analytics. In one tool, this means that the user flow was okay, but new product growth. Some clones showed better results than he. And in this September actually, 2 products grows as much and kick him off from the first place on market. So his revenue significantly dropped from 60K back to 40K. In this time, he came to us, and we implement one single iteration. He showed ad one time per 15 minutes. We run A/B test and understand then if he will show ad one time per 3 minutes, average revenue per user will grow to 30%, to not 30 to 70%. He said, guys, I I understand what are you doing. What for I shall pay your 100 of uplift? You did one single change. The question is not that we did this one single change. The answer is we know what change you need to do to obtain this 70% of uplift. I think in November, I guess we will got 70%, 70,000 of revenue. And I predict then I will say in June, we got 120, 140,000 of profit. Let's come to another option. Three guys, one from Ukraine, one from Russia, one from Georgia, if I remember, launch car crash simulator named DriveX. You can find it on Google Play and App Store. It was really successful game. They got 70,000 per month, but they haven't understand what shall they do next, how to grow this product. Now they come to us in December. We fix the 70K, and now we got about 190, which 60K goes to us, and 150 goes to them, something like this. The third sample, it is not typically case. Some guys from Hungary, actually they are formally from Russia, but in 2022 something happened and they found themselves in Hungary. They made some outsource work for us. They come to us with the idea to create something like GTA. GTA from the bad guys on mobile. I hope you know what is GTA. They haven't their funds, and we fund this project. Actually, from March we spent about 70K for this project, and now in November we predict 20K of profit. But in this case, as we funded the development, of course the revenue share is not equal. I think it is fair. Actually, we are expecting about 40 or 50K on March 2026. We provide buyout option if you have your successful game and you want to key in on something else. We just can buy out for a fair price and work with it by ourselves. Actually, that's it. Thank you for listening my advertising speech, but I try to be fair and tell you all problems which you can find when you will develop your app or game as indie developer. Thank you very much. Bye.
Mentioning that that advertising was every 15 minutes, and so you suggested to to show it every 3 minutes. But
Yes.
isn't going to frustrate the user? They're watching it every 15 minutes.
Great question. Yes, of course, but we are speaking about the numbers. Uh, as I told, the two metrics we are watching is R1 and R7. So how much user returns in 24 hours and in 7 days. This feature, when we provide it, we run A/B test. So 50% of user watched ads every 15 minutes, and 50% of user watch it every 3 minutes. And difference in R1 was less than 1%. So when you are working, when you are showing ads once 4 times per hour, you got 32% of R1. And if you are showing it 20 times per hour, you got 31%. So yes, we see a slight decrease of of user engagement, but decrease of engagement was 3%, and average revenue per user was 75%. When you multiply these two metrics, you got 70% growth of your LTV. You are very welcome. Yeah.
I have a question about the analytics tools.
Yeah.
You say that the indie developers may not have enough access to the analytics tools, and I understand that if they do not have enough users, like if they have only the organic traffic, then surely they cannot run the A/B tests. This is for sure. But I'm curious about the bigger apps. For example, the examples which you mentioned about 40K per month. They surely already have enough users. What kind of tools they do not have on their side, which you have? Can they run the same analytics on their side when they already have the 40K revenue? Give some examples, please, 1 or 2 examples.
It's really good question. I try to understand to explain. Look, you have some analytics set up from the box. When you see basic metrics R1, R7, user engagement, but you to understand what the issues, you need to set up some events in your app or in games. Yes, uh, user played 5 minutes, user finished level 1, user finished level 3, user started level 4, user churn on ad, or user churn not on ad, and that's it. Of course, uh, 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 developer definitely can set up this analytics, but to understand what do he need to set up, he need to launch at least 10 products before to understand at what metrics do you need to key in. You need to dive in this metric, because you understand that in third and seventh project you work before. This help. If you are growing one product, you don't have enough expertise just to understand where to go. When we're speaking about racing games, uh, I showed you your slide. 7 hypotheses bring you nothing or bring you some minus result, and only one brings you statistically significant plus. If our product work, he doesn't work with one product. He worked with 7 or 8 products per no, every week. This helps him to understand weak points. Yes, he doesn't dive in really deeper in each product, but you can see the difference. As you can go to the previous stage, everybody can understand that this will bring you more money, but developer afraid that it ruins his engagement. We said, okay, let's A/B test. The first test was not on 50% of audience. We tried it on first on 3% audience because he afraid very much that it ruins the engagement. As he had a lot of users, 3%, as for my opinion, was not statistically significant, but it showed about 100% of uplift. He said, okay, let's go to 20. 20 showed 64%. Okay, let's go to 50-50. And then we understand that we were sure that this option will help. But lots of indie users create the game of their dream. We don't work with the games as something that this is miracle. We understand that this is business product where you can put money, some amount of money, and we need to bring a bigger amount of money back. This is slight different understanding from the developer politics. It is really change of your mind. I spent, to be honest, about $100,000 to build 2 games of my dream. I hire a good team. They build the game which I dreamed about, but this game, I find this game not successful, and I killed them just because I don't know how it's in English, Geschäft. I closed my mental task and forgot about it. When we speaking about mobile games or mobile apps, I'm speaking not about development or something. I speak and I understand that this is business. This is our HR said that our mission is to bring game to every house and blah 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 blah. As for me, I want to spend on user acquisition $1 million and got back 1,100,000. That's my mission. That's really different between business understanding and social understanding. Any other question? Yeah.
Your company takes data from the other companies to analyze from the game, to analyze and say if it is profitable, right?
Sorry, we are looking for the games which are profitable.
Yeah, you are using data analyze, right?
Yes, we are using Google Analytics. We are using our own prediction models, which then we build in Google Looker. You maybe know this tool or Vova. Superset.
Superset, okay, but it's optimization.
Yeah, it's visualization. What is your question? Sorry, maybe I don't understand.
My question is follow-up. It wasn't that I understand. I'm asking so your company does tell users to install some analytics companies, other analytics companies, so you collect data to analyze?
Yes, definitely we collect users' analytics. The first of all, when we are speaking about user analytics, user data is blended. We don't need to understand what's user email or something like this. We just need to understand what is percentage of user finish level 7 and goes to level 8. We can estimate whether user will pay for the game or no, but it definitely not the miracle. Actually, there is really easy way to understand will user pay or no. When you work with advertising, you ask Google how much you will pay for ad for this user. You understand? Yes. We know that the average price of one impression for user in Cyprus is, for example, $7 for 1,000 impression. We understand if Google pay $15, this user probably can pay. If Google pay $3, this is Trump. He will not pay nothing. He will pay nothing. We have definitely lots of other things. We can understand mobile phone. We understand that a Galaxy Fold will pay in most chance than Poco F1 or something another. But in any case, we don't need to understand what is user doing. No, not what is user doing. Who is that user? Uh, Google and Apple have implemented European GDPR regulation at least 3 years ago. And now we listen lots of bullshit, how it helps us to give user better experience. But to be honest, as for us, it will be much easier to work without it. But working with it cost us about 1 or 2% of effective spend. But it was it because I don't want to go to jail and pay crazy fines from United States. The only reason why we are COPPA compliant and GDPR compliant, it is just because we don't want to pay fines. That's true. Have I answered your question? Thank you very much.